So if you remember from last time, we had a movie content type that had a binary image field and a regular image field. Now, the difference between these two, if you remember, is that the image field stores the image outside of the content, and the poster stores it, the binary image field stores it inside the movie content. So we're going to go to some documentation and show how to handle and resize both. A little bit different handling. Okay, so if we look here at the simple pathing, there is a simple pathing using a shorty ID, which if we look at that, the simple pathing is nothing more than a /DA to confirm that it's a digital asset. And then the shorty ID, which comprises the first 10 numbers of or 10 numbers or letters of the identifier of the asset being resized, right? So here we can see the width being passed, which would be the shorty ID followed by / 400 width, or the shorty, DA, and then the shorty ID and 400 height. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use this methodology for either of our resize, either on the screenshot or the binary. Just the methodology is just going to be slightly different. And then we're going to take a look at how to actually do some filtering. Now, the filtering requires a little bit of a different path. So you can see here we can change the exposure, we can crop, flip, change the gamma, GIF, grayscale, JPEG, all through the image API. Do a progressive JPEG, PNG, obviously the resize method is there. However, if we look at any of these methodologies, and there's several different examples here, then the pathing is going to be a little different, and it's going to have to be a fuller pathing. And so we've got here further rotate, we'll take that for example. So if we wanted to rotate and we wanted to pass a certain amount of degrees on the rotation of the image, we would have to start out with whatever our domain would be, then content asset image, then the ID, in the case of the file asset, that would be the ID of the file asset, then file asset filter, and then after the filter, then which filter we're passing, which would be the rotation filter. If we were referring to a binary file, however, we would start out content asset image, then that would be the identifier of the piece of content that we're iterating over in velocity, and then we would name which one of the binary images by the velocity variable of the image on the content type, and then we'd pass filter and rotate and that rotate filter. Okay. So we've got some examples of a file asset and a binary field here, and if you clicked on any of them, then you can either see this image of a building in England, or you can see an image of stretched, obviously, with a scale of a Garden of the Gods in Colorado. And it's all just doing things with the URL only. That's the only thing we're changing via the image API to either the binary field, same image every time, right? For each of them, same file asset, same binary field. We're doing a crop and a rotate. And here we're doing the same with a binary field. That's just our basic resize with a thumbnail. Same thing here. And we've got several other examples here, even of a grayscale of those images, right? So let's go ahead and see how to just simply do a resize in our content pull. So here on our site browser, we have inside our training that movie listing. And I guess we would want to add the resizing to the detail page, right? So I guess let's go ahead and go to maybe the Incredibles here. And we'll remove that movie widget that we put last time. And let's go ahead and get that poster pulled here on this detail page for both the binary image and also the screenshot. Okay, so we'll step right into our movie detail here, and we'll just copy it out. We don't have to sign into WebDAV or anything. And bring up our text wrangler here. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you. Okay. All right, so right after we show our URL mapped movie title, then our category and our release date, then maybe before the description, we could go ahead and show our movie. So you go ahead and get an image source tag here. And for quick convenience, we'll just put it inside of a p tag. And I guess let's go ahead and do it like this. So it's a little easier to see. But we are not going to do this. We could do that content asset resize and the content identifier if we wanted to, but we're going to use the simple methodology, DAA, and it has to be capital A, that is case sensitive. And then we're going to do, and if you noticed, there is here, let's go back to Shorty. Another convenience method that I made sure that as we were discussing this, I said, you know what we need is a full path to our, the Shorty plus the path to the file. If we could just have that, then we don't have to, do anything afterwards. So that's the parameter that we're going to use. And this obviously works with the file asset and also with the binary. If you just, so for iterating over movies, this is iterating over news items. But if you just did news item.shorty, that would give you the shorty of the very first, the first binary image. Otherwise, you have to pass the field and then the shorty URL, right? So that's what we're going to do in our code. So we're going to do movie.poster.shorty URL, right? And then /, and then let's go ahead and do maybe 150 width, right? And that should do that. Now we also have screenshot 1. So I guess underneath here, let's go ahead and do this. Screenshot, I think it's screenshot 1. So that makes it even easier. All we have to do is do that. Then the shorty URL includes everything. So let me step back into that file. Save and publish. And then we should be able to click on the Incredibles. See that. see what his path is. And that's how you debug, right? If you think it's set. And what we want to really do is to make sure that we can check our content. Let's do right after the title. Let's go ahead and do our best practice method, right? And that has to exist, right? So we don't even have to worry about anything else. Movie.inode. If we get down here, then we know that it has an inode, so that's all good. Okay, so if Incredibles does not show us that movie, let's step into Incredibles now and see if it has a screenshot, which of course it doesn't. So I think I already have a few little screenshots. If not, I'll grab one from another movie or something. And it's expecting us to load an image into our training. I'll just put it right into my images directory, and I'll upload a new file. I'll select a file to upload. Sorry, my 5.0 version is a little bit old, and this guy's slow to... There we go. Okay. So I will select something from my desktop inside of demos and posters. And just pick anything in here. I'll pick something from another movie, doesn't matter. Okay. And I'll pick that and save and publish. And now we should have, whenever we click on Incredibles, now we should have that. And if you ever wanted to see, if, I wasn't mistaken on the, on how to refer to the screenshot, but if you ever thought you were, or you wanted to see what was said on that screenshot, here I'm just spitting out movies.screenshot, tells me everything about the screenshot itself, tells me all of the properties of it, so that then I could pull it down below, but it was just that the content didn't have it set on it. So we can then step into our movie detail and just remove that content right there, right? Okay. And then we're resizing them both to the same width. If I wanted to adjust that, and I wanted that bottom screenshot to be bigger, I could go ahead and set that to maybe 250. And save and publish that. And then go back to the Incredibles, and now I've got a bigger size for my image. Right. So that is image handling and resizing, and of course the rest of the documentation you can find here under our displaying content with binary and image fields, and I will chat that to everyone. And our image resizing and processing using our image API. Those two have all of the filters, including multiple filters. If you wanted to pass multiple filters as well, it has examples down towards the bottom here on how you can chain filters. You just have to look at chaining filters, and you could add multiple filters. You just refer to the image in a little bit different way. You put content asset instead of the DA before it, and then you're able to do multiple filters on any image. Okay. And it's got a little bit of information down here on forcing a cache refresh as well, if you wanted to. And has the methodology for doing that by the inode. which would be the the latest change difference on the image. Because every time you change the image, obviously it's got a different inode, which would obviously refresh the cache, right?